Haunted by the Whisper Core's revelation that Earth may not be dead, Veika Sarr follows the mysterious coordinates toward an uncharted region known as the Bleeding Veil. En route, she's intercepted by a Remnant Accord strike team, humanity's own ghosts, led by rogue operative Moz, Halfburn Rake. Forced to confront her past crimes and the distrust of her own species, Veika must decide if she can earn redemption, or if her only worth is the weapon she carries. Space is rarely silent. The hull creaks, engines hum. A human heartbeat echoes louder than the stars. Inside the scorned Mercy, Veika Sarr sat in the dark, wrapped in an old pilot's coat 2 sizes too big, staring at a blinking coordinate marker that didn't exist. Home, it had said, a lie or a cruel hope. Either way, she was chasing it. The Whisper Core pulsed faintly behind her, tucked back in its casing like a sleeping god. It hadn't spoken since the pulse blast that nearly ripped apart a triune war cruiser, since it showed her Earth's final breath. Veika hadn't slept in 20 hours. Too many voices, too many ghosts. The Bleeding Veil wasn't a place, not officially. Even the Forgican didn't chart it. A red mist stretched across parsecs, a nebula laced with fractal scars, emotion-warped gravity, and the remains of failed rebellions. No sane pilot flew here without cause, or without a death wish. Veika had both. Incoming ping, encryption, human, designation, Remnant Accord. She stiffened. Humans. The Accord wasn't a government. It was a scar, a loose alliance of saboteurs, smugglers, freedom fighters, and freaks clinging to what was left of humanity's pride. Most of them hated her. All of them feared the Core. Of course they'd come. She opened the comm. The face that greeted her was half laugh, half burn. "I'll be damned," said Rake, the Valari Ice Queen herself. Veika blinked. "You look like hell, Halfburn." Maz grinned. "That's Commander Halfburn to you. And you're in Accord airspace, sweetheart." "This isn't Accord space." "It is now," he replied. "What are you hauling?" "You already know." Maz's smile vanished. "I want to see it." They met aboard an asteroid barge, hull stitched together with repurposed colony domes and missile husks. Accord war paint streaked every bulkhead, red claw marks, black stars, and the phrase "Never Forgive" stenciled in a dozen languages. Veika stepped off the Mercy alone. 3 guns immediately tracked her. She didn't flinch. Maz stood at the far end of the docking bay, arms folded, coat billowing like a warlord's flag. His left arm was gone, replaced by a crude cybernetic limb that hissed with static. "You know," he said, walking up to her, "a lot of people would have put a bullet in your head just for showing your face." Veika stared him down. "You're not most people." "No," Maz said, grin returning. "I'm worse." The room they took her to had once been a cryo chamber. Now it was a war room. 3 other remnants sat inside. A young woman with fractured psionic implants, an old ex-marine with 1 eye and a long scar, and something, draped in a biosuit that looked stitched from shadow. They all stared. Maz leaned against the wall. "You brought a Whisper Core into our spiral," he said. "Into our home." "I didn't know it would lead me here," Veika replied. "Bullshit." She didn't flinch. He stepped forward. "You were Valari. You signed off on the Hexstar massacre. You killed 40,000 of us in 1 orbital sweep. Now you waltz in here waving a haunted black box and want us to what? Hug you?" "No," she said. "Then what the hell do you want?" Veika looked up. Her voice was even. "I want to find Earth." Silence fell. The girl with the implants, Kira Delta, cocked her head. "Earth's gone." Veika looked at her. "Is it?" The room tensed. Veika stepped forward. Her voice dropped. "The Core decrypted something. A beacon, not just an echo, a signal, coordinated, intentional." She pulled up the star chart. The red path gleamed like a wound. This system, Veil Sector 9XE. There's something there, maybe a black site, maybe a bunker, but something's alive. Maz narrowed his eyes. Why you? Why would it show you? Because I listened. That night, they locked her in a cell. Not because she was a prisoner, because even now, no one trusted her not to sell them all out. Maz visited her just before the simulated lights dimmed. He brought a flask and a pair of neural dampeners. Put this on, he said, tossing her one. She clipped it to her temple. The voices faded, the core quieted. He sat outside the bars. You know, he said, I used to think you were some unfeeling machine, a perfect little Valari. I was. Maz took a drink. You blew up my brother's outpost 7 years ago. Atlas Ridge. Veika said nothing. I buried him myself, Maz said. Under broken ice and blue ash. Thought about you every year since. Veika looked at him. I remember Atlas Ridge. He didn't respond. I was ordered to break resistance. We detected encrypted comms. They said it was a Fergican relay. Maz's face was stone. It was a refugee signal. I know that now. Maz drained the flask and stood. You ever wonder if it's too late? Veika met his eyes. Every day. The next morning, the Accord warband voted. 3-1, they agreed to investigate the signal. Maz made it clear. She wasn't forgiven, but she was useful. They jumped together, a ship of ghosts chasing the whisper of home. When they arrived in Sector 9XE, they found nothing. Just dust, rock, and a derelict station, folded between 3 planetoids. No heat, no communications, no signs of life. But the core pulsed. Go down. They docked. Veika, Maz, and Kira Delta descended into the station's husk. Inside, they found walls grown over with something like coral, but humming. Reactive. What is this? Maz whispered. Veika brushed the wall. It rippled. Human brain matter, grown, wired, amplified. Kira's implants lit up. This whole station's alive, like a listening post or a memory farm. At the core, they found a sarcophagus. Not metal, not stone, a cocoon. Inside was a body, human, still breathing. Whisper operative designation, Crow 7. Status, dormant. Last access date, 2461. Maz took a step back. This guy's been here nearly 2 centuries? Veika nodded. Frozen in memory loop, probably linked to the core network, one of the last. Kyra looked up, voice shaky. He's dreaming. I can hear it, Maz muttered. What's he dreaming about? Kara shivered. Earth. The sarcophagus stirred, eyes opened. They weren't human anymore. The figure spoke, voice rough, ancient, broken. You finally came, it said. The crows remember. Veika stepped forward. What do you remember? The whisper core pulsed behind her. The war isn't over. To be continued.